Okay.
Καλησπέρα σε όλους. Καλώς ήρθατε στην επόμενη παρουσίαση, όπου έχουμε τη Michele από τις ΙΠΑ. Θα μας κάνει μια πολύ ενδιαφέρουσα παρουσίαση. Νομίζω όλους μας ενδιαφέρει, ιδιαίτερα στην περίοδο που διανύουμε. Είναι τεχνικός στο WordPress, το πούμε έτσι, στην Thrive Internet Marketing Agency, και έχει μάλιστα και ένα μικρό δικό της, όπως το λέει, WordPress Shop, που λέγεται 13 Core. Στην παρουσίασή της θα μας πει λίγο κάποια πράγματα που αφορούν την ψυχική υγεία και το πώς όλοι θα πρέπει να προστατεύουμε τον εαυτό μας, ιδιαιτέρως υπό αυτές τις συνθήκες πίεσης. Η ομιλία θα είναι στα αγγλικά και καλησπερίζω την Michele. Michele, hello.
Hi, everyone.
We're very glad to have you here. We hope in a great presentation I introduce you and said you have a very, very interesting topic that actually affects most of us in these crazy times we've been going on with the COVID situation and everything. Feel free to introduce yourself, and the stage is yours. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, good morning, happy day wherever you are. Let me get my slides up. And I'm going to be doing them with the PDF version to make it a bit easier, so we won't have to worry about as many technical difficulties. My name is Michele Butcher-Jones. I am from Southern Illinois. If any of you have been to the state and visited Chicago, Illinois, it's at the very top of the state. Now, at the bottom of it. I woke up this morning for it being about 4 degrees Celsius outside of my house, and so I'm kind of cold. I work for Thrive Agency that's based out of Dallas, Texas. I head geek and the main writer for can'tspeak.com. I run 13 Core, which is a freelance WordPress development and hosting. Starting a new initiative called She Press, which will be a community of women who work in tech. Lead organizer for the Southern Illinois WordPress meetup, and I also do teach beginners WordPress. But that's really enough about me. However, I do want to give one huge disclaimer. I am in no way a medical professional, not a doctor or counselor, therapist, or anything like that. Just a person like you working in the wonderful field of WordPress. If you do feel you need professional help, please seek help. Talk to a therapist, your doctor, anyone who has those credentials to help. And all the ideas expressed in this talk are opinion-based. My opinion, which with this talk, this is to be very much an informal, where we share our ideas. And if you have any stories or thoughts or ideas that deal with mental health and working remotely, please share them in the chats, or you can use a QA to ask questions. We're all here to make the world a better place. And there will be a lot of cat memes because cats make people happy. And, you know, a day in the life of a remote worker is quite different than the life of a person who works in the office. Few of the things is, society thinks us remote workers are more lounging around. We have it easy. We can work from the beach, which we can if we have Wi-Fi. And we can take naps and it's all relaxing. However, in the reality, it's more like this. It's a lot of arguing with your computer to make the code work, which we would be doing in the office. However, at home, we can be a lot louder, yelling at the computer of why won't this work, and still a lot of face palms. And there are some great benefits of working remotely. As mentioned, we can work wherever there is coffee and Wi-Fi. We don't have to be locked down to an office. We can listen to our own music or movies during the day, and we can have it as loud as we want, and we don't have to worry about any of the coworkers complaining because there's no one here. Now, your cat or your dog may, come up to you and meow and bark to be like, turn it down, Dad or Mom. But they'll be fine. And then the best reason for working remotely is pants are optional. But there is one demon in the closet no one wants to talk about. And this kind of demon is with remote workers, but also just prevalent kind of everywhere. And it's because no one really wants to talk about mental health. There's always been such a stigma that if you have depression, that means there's something wrong with you or you're weak. And it's totally not true. There's, bad looks for people who have anxiety. People are looked at differently in a way who talk about being on the autism spectrum, who have bipolar or any real mental illness. And we need to stop the stigma of that. Because mental illness can mean a lot of things. And the biggest one is kind of depression. And depression is one of the number one health concerns of remote workers, because a lot of us who do work in a distributed company or for ourselves freelancing, who have the home office, sometimes don't get that interaction with people that they need. It's harder to bounce ideas off of your coworkers if you have them to kind of boost yourself up and help you in those times that you need. And it can really turn into a downward spiral of depression. Another one of the big health concerns of remote workers is obesity, because of the fact we do sit most of the day on our computers and we can eat and veg out at times. And then also overeating and depression have a huge correlation. And also burnout is a real thing. Many people have dealt with burnout in any other types of jobs, but when you work distributed, it can come on a lot faster without you realizing. Some of these symptoms can include anxiety, depression, chronic fatigue, insomnia, anger, irritability, health issues like indigestion and headaches, lack of motivation, decreased job performance, loss of focus, and forgetfulness can all be signs of burnout. Now, some of those things can also be signs of other things like ADHD, which it's interesting. A lot of people I've spoke with in our WordPress community does have ADHD. I think there might be a thing with that because I know I'm one. But indigestion and headaches are very much a physical symptom that we might think is something else, like especially like if your flowers and trees are in bloom in the spring, they could be thinking, oh, it's just allergies, or oh, it's just something I ate. But really, it's the stress in your body due to the burnout showing itself in a physical form. Another thing that people don't even really take notice until about their 30s and 40s is where you hold your stress in your body, and it will present itself in different ways. Mine stress, when I get really stressed out, I end up getting a bad pain in my shoulder blades. Almost like someone's pushing that pressure point by your shoulder blade. And it will get completely painful until I get over the hump of that stress. I realized that during the planning of my wedding, actually, that was where I held my stress. And once you find out your place, your body's actions to saying, hey, I need help, I'm too stressed, it will help you to kind of be more mindful and say, oh, I must be really stressed out on something. Let's fix this so I can make my body both mentally and physically better. And in work anxiety, this is a bad issue. You know, am I good enough? Will they fire me for this one mistake? Am I not coding fast enough? Am I being too nice? Am I being too mean? All of those questions that build up in your head just keep going and going and going. And when you work more remotely in a distributed way, that can build up more because you don't have that people to bounce back and forth from, and you don't have the feedback in a way as you would in the physical settings. So the best thing with this is to learn how to more check those nasty thoughts, and work with your other people, or if you have friends within the same realm who you can talk to get that more balanced out. And then now we kind of gone on a lot more of the gloom and doom, but let's talk about ways for us all to stay happy and sane. Some of us semi-sane. I don't think a couple of us could never be on the same board. We all a little bit mad here, as Mad Hatter says. And then also how to stay healthy, both physically and mentally, because they really do go together. Number 1, leave your work at work. When it comes to things boiling over, you working longer hours, it's really easy to sit down at your computer at 8 o'clock when you're in the morning, when you're supposed to start work. And then that 5 o'clock end time sometimes gets blurred when you work remotely because you're still at home. You don't have to get up to leave your office to get in your vehicle or ride on transit to get home. So it's really easy to work overtime. And then it's also really easy to, I'm just going to go eat lunch and then I'll go eat dinner and then I'll come back to it. When the day is done, close your laptop, turn off your computer, and walk away from it. If you're able to have 2 different machines where one is work and one is for personal use, never open that work machine except for during work times. And now for me, I only have the one laptop that's a dual use. So what I do is when I want to work on my laptop and it's not work, I will unplug it from my desk and take it into a different room. So I don't have that work bubble around me. And then also, don't stress about your work when you are off work. It will be there for you the next day or when you're next online. And it's not going to get any better, any worse, just sitting there, that it will be fine the next day. And then also relax. This is one of the easiest but hardest things to do in life. But life doesn't have to go at the speed of light of all time. You don't have to stay on hustle mode from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep. Life shouldn't just be all about work. It should be fun. It should be having a relaxing time. It should be, those moments. So many people, especially nowadays, are like, we've got to be on it all day long. And those are the ones that end up having heart attacks at a young age, end up having a lot of stress-induced illnesses, both mentally and physically. When if you learn good ways of how to relax and reconnect and just chill, it has a great effect on your body, especially in the physical, because you need that relaxation, you need that rest. And then also change up your routine. A lot of us can really get into the monotony of, like, we wake up, we shower, bathe, or clean, brush our teeth, we go sit down at the computer, we work for a while, and almost you could set a clock to the time we go to use the facilities, and then come back and work, and then go eat. And you can almost set a timer to it, and it gets into such a routine that you don't even realize that you're not really living your life, but more just going through the motions of everything. So mix it up from time to time. Once we all get, I've been calling it ungrounded with the COVID restrictions, because in a way it almost feels like back when we were teenagers and we would get grounded from doing something where we, you're not allowed to go out to eat, not allowed to us have the in-person work camps, not allowed in a way to do this and that. So it kind of really feels like a teenage grounding. But once that's over, work someplace new in a coffee shop or a cafe or one of the types of buildings where you have the co-working. Go out to lunch with a friend or family member. Take that hour and a half lunch, but make sure you communicate with your people that you are going to be a little late. Take a 10 to 15 minute walk break around your neighborhood. Take a 20-minute nap sometimes when you feel your body needs it. Just kind of change it up so it's not you just going through the motions every day. And talk to people. The best way is to have that actual physical one-on-one or one-on-many types of conversations. But right now that is kind of hard. So now take advantage of the social media platforms, your different Slack groups, Facebook and Facebook groups, Twitter, and other chats can help you feel connected while being alone. Some friends of mine, we haven't really been doing it much lately, but we used to have Friday nights where we call it after hours, where we would all just get together on Google Hangouts, and now we've switched to Zoom, where we've got one of the guys is in Virginia Beach, another one is in Ohio, a couple of them in Florida, some in California, me in Illinois, where we just sit around Friday night, talk, have drinks, share in our week, try to fix the world's problems right there in Zoom. But it makes you still feel connected to people when you might not have that opportunity. But definitely take advantage of what you can with who you can, because it's those one-on-one, those people connections that really can help keep you grounded, can also help you feel that you are not alone, and for sharing your stories with each other. And then another thing we've talked about within the WordPress community, this is really kind of talked a lot in the organizers for WordCamps, and then also for the people who kind of look at what the code of conduct stuff is. Always keep your circle open. Don't box yourself up. So anyone who's coming up, your conversation looks approachable and they can join in. That helps a lot for you to meet new people, and then also people who might feel a little timid or worrisome about joining your conversation. When you leave that circle open, both figuratively and literally, that helps bring people in. And do something fun and make it not involve a screen. Go for a hike, do crafts, make something, do photography, whatever you enjoy. Read a book. We spend so much time on a screen, and there are studies now that are coming out that the more screen time people have, especially in a more enjoyment setting, that it doesn't show the benefits as it would of you doing something physical off screen. Like you've seen, there's different things out for, especially with teenagers, where the instant gratification of being online is rewiring the brains for when it comes to different types of stimulus. So go out there, do something fun. And if you feel you don't have any hobbies or anything, go looking. Meetup.com has always had great different ideas of groups you could join that do a little bit of everything, from the more arts and crafts type stuff or making things. They even have groups that just go out to dinners and things like that. But make sure you enjoy it. And also, don't forget about you. Be deliberate in taking care of yourself. Make sure you're staying on a schedule with hygiene, because I know working remotely, there can be this kind of lapse of, well, I didn't go anywhere, I didn't get dirty. And you can kind of just slip down those holes. Eat healthy. Make sure you're buying healthy options to keep in the house to eat, and like your snacks are like fruits and vegetables, so you're not sitting there eating all those bad foods for you and making your physical health in a way worse. And then kind of stay clear of bad health habits of, staying on the computer and in your chair 20 hours a day. Make sure you're just getting up, walking around every hour or so to stretch and move your muscles. Get into routines of, taking those breaks, or taking care of yourself, like have a self-care day once a week, once a month, whatever, where, like, if you're female, you're doing this, or I know men who do it too, you're doing the spa day where you're giving yourself facials and using the good lotions and stuff. And like, if you're a man and you have the beard, of take a day where you're getting the beard oils and everything and really grooming and taking care of the beard to make it well. Do things for you. And then get physical. Boost. I can hardly say it today. Boosting the heart rate makes endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. If you've seen the movie with Reese Witherspoon, where Legally Blonde, she talks about how there's a woman who was framed for killing her husband. And she says, endorphin, when you work out, endorphins make you happy, and happy people don't kill their husbands. I always thought that was kind of a great line. But it is true. Working out, going for a walk, a hike, a run, riding your bicycle, skateboarding, playing a sport, football, with going around and kicking the ball around with your friends. All of that really does boost both your physical and your emotional. And then talk about it. This is kind of the hardest one for people to get used to doing, is talking about your mental state, especially if it's not in a good one at that moment. You might feel like you're alone, but there's always someone who they might not have gone through exactly what you're going through, but they can understand you and help you with it. And that's really a great way of helping yourself to get better. And then get help. If you ever do feel suicidal, or you just can't take it anymore, or you're wanting to hurt yourself or others, seek professional help. If you know about mental health people like psychiatrists, psychologists in your area, go talk to them. If you don't know where to start, talk to your regular doctor. Get online for the Big Orange Heart. They do a lot with helping people find mental health officials to help you with, because this can really affect anyone. One of the biggest names of people who you can really look to at this is Robin Williams. On screen and off screen, he just had a bigger than life personality. You would have thought he was just the happiest man on the planet, where really he was quite riddled with mental health, and ultimately took his own life because of depression and his mental health state. A big part of it is he did have a physical issue going on that he knew he could never get better from. And it really just took him down to the point that he felt that he did take his own life as being a way to fix everything. And we don't want people to get into that deep of a feeling where they think suicide is the right answer. And as a WordPress community, we should make a stand against the stigma of mental health. We should be out there talking about it, which is kind of one of the reasons I do enjoy giving this talk. Is I am one who has dealt with mental health, and I've dealt with burnout and a lot of those things. And I know myself has gone through it. Corey Miller, former owner of iThemes before it got bought out by Liquid Web, has talked about it. There's been different types of panels, and the more we are talking about it as a community, especially as a professional global community, the better it is. And the more you see, like even with the WordCamps and talking in different Slack groups and stuff, that we're really making a difference just being there for one another. Because we really should kick the stigma, and hopefully with our stand as a community on it, we can show other organizations, professionals, the advantage of it. And then one big place we can start is in the workplace, where employers are giving time for their employees to have those mental health days when they need them to take off work, to make them not feel bad for having a down day, having a bad day, or more, to keep their health, mental health better, because a person in a good spot mentally will always be more productive than someone who's not. And it's really good at a business employer level that they do realize that. And we're also making it approachable to talk to one another about it in the workforce. I know a lot of people I've heard say, I don't want to bring this up to my boss because he might look down on me. I might get fired for saying that I'm being less productive because I'm so depressed. You want to be able to go to your boss on those kind of things and be okay with saying it and not having the worry that you might get reprimanded for it. And then be a friend. If you are or even are not in a good place and you see someone who's having a bad day, be a friend to them. Keep that circle open to people, so we can help one another out. Because also helping someone doing a charitable act also is a big endorphin booster. Because you knew you helped someone, and you can walk away from it feeling like I did good in the world. And that can help you out to build yourself better. And raise awareness. This again goes back to share your story, but this is more on a official more basis of, share your stories on Twitter, on Facebook, on social media. Get up and do presentations like this one here where we're kind of more sharing our stories. My biggest one was I was a preschool nursery school teacher for 12 years. And while I loved working with children, I got burnt out. And I'd found WordPress through a friend and was doing a little bit of blogging when I realized I could actually do this as a job. And it kind of evolved from there. And now when I look at like my work and my worth in my job profession, I'm a lot more happier now, and it's showing with my job because I'm not having those burnout feelings. And then that is all I have for today. And let's see here. Lemon had said she promised us cats, and she kept the promise. I am so glad you enjoyed all the cats. I don't know where mine is roaming around, but I'm very much a cat person who might think she rules my life.
Michelle, thank you. Thank you very much.
I have to say, where I'm seeing the person doing the sign language interpretation, that is the first time I'd ever seen that on a virtual conference. And I think that is the most amazing thing ever, because when it comes to physical issues, I'm actually quite hard of hearing and have an auditory association issue. So seeing someone sign, like you probably noticed, I do speak a lot with my hands, is kind of a part of that.
Thank you. We actually try to do the best we can to make all these events as more people can reach it, more people can participate. Given the budgets we have, we can do our best. And a big thank you to the people from the sign language. I'm not sure how was your experience using this platform. I'm going to move the presentation so that we can be in a bigger window, all of us. It was a very, very interesting presentation, to be honest. And let me say, it touched me deeply. And I can speak on behalf of many, many people that they do see much of what you described on them. And especially this time of COVID situation, where we're locked in small, tight places, some of us with just ourselves, some with their kids, some with their parents. It's a difficult situation to cope with.
And another, in a way, reverse situation that I found myself in is I've worked remotely since 2014. Up until March of last year, it was only the cat and I in the house all day. And so I was very much used to the quietness of the house, where the only sounds were ones I was making or my cat talking or snoring. She's a snorer. And then all of a sudden, my husband his job is making him work from home. And then my daughter's school closed down and they're doing remote work with Google Classroom. So then all of a sudden I had two other people in my house who were talking and making noise and just doing their life. And then also when it came to, I'm used to those two eating outside of the house every day. So then we're looking more at with the cooking meals and stuff like that every day. It was just it took me 2 or 3 months to get used to it. Because I'd be like, you shouldn't be here.
Yeah, I understand. For many people, this happened, and it's a global phenomenon. And just in case you don't know, we come on different cultures. So you're in the USA, where and I've been to your places, and it was actually this time of year, and I saw that freezing temperature, and I felt it. What I wanted to say is, here in Greece, to be honest, we haven't really managed to fight that stigma. So most of the people, they don't. I'm trying to put it in the correct sentence. They have the stigma. They feel all the burnout signs. Me, including me. I'm not taking myself aside. They see all the signs. They get all the pressure from the work. But as a society here in Greece, it's very difficult to take it out, to express, to find help, maybe other people to understand you. Even in the same situation, they are in the same situation as you, they will not always let you communicate it. It's a big thing, and thank you very much for your presentation.
My family background, I joke and I say, out of all of the different countries, I ended up getting all the most stubborn genes, because my family background is French, German, Scottish, and Irish.
Oh.
So it's like, the top 4 stubborn types of countries when it comes to personalities. I would, of course, get them. So, and growing up in those type of households, and like my stepfather is very much Irish Catholic family. Those wasn't talked about when I was younger. If you were sad, it was more, get over it and keep going. or the famous "you'll be fine" type of mentality.
Give it off.
And so now, as us adults, we're realizing, no, we probably shouldn't do that.
Indeed. And you have many nice tips there, interesting tips. Maybe I should get myself a second computer just to have games on. I will become a gamer. And I can let you know that I will definitely go over your presentation again. And thank you very much for being here.
And my slides can be found at mlb.pw/Greece2021.
Great. And also, we will go and share it in our platform. We have a slide deck, and the presentation will be online as well in the YouTube channel and the WordPress TV. And the people will get a chance to see it over and over again. And some of them, they will do it gladly like me. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much for having me today.
Bye.